All right, so we've been given marginal profit for a members-only club is given by the following function. Okay, so they give us this function, marginal profit, where X is the current number of members enrolled in the program, and they want us to approximate the total profit when 300 members enrolled using a left-hand Riemann sum. Okay, so let's use a left-handed sum, and they've actually given us a graph to go by. So this is going to help us a little bit. Now, what you need to see here is they've also given us this sigma notation, right? So I equals 1 to 6, p prime of xi, delta x, where delta x is 50. Now, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 total bars, okay, if we use a left-handed sum. And that's going to go from where? Actually, it's 6 bars, so it's 1's here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do I know it's 6 bars? Well, delta x is 50, and they want us to stop at 300, and 300 divided by 50, right? 6 bars. So that's how I know that. Now, so what do I know? I know that I need to set this up like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just put it down here. 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to add 6 bars. Okay, and each bar is going to be height times width. Height times width. And I told you in my previous video that you can always factor out the delta x and just add the heights and then multiply that at the end. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. So the height of this first bar is 0. I can see that right out of the bat. Okay, another way to see this is if you plug in 0 in the function. Right, if you plug in 0 here, here, and here, you'll get a 0. Okay, now watch what we do for this next bar. I'm going to slide this so that you can see it. Okay, so here's my function. The left-hand side of this bar is at 50. Okay, the left-hand side of this bar, this right here, is at x equals 50. So I'm going to plug a 50 in here, here, and here. I'm going to plug in 50. Okay, so negative 0.0006 times 50 plus, whoops, helps if you type it right, 0.0006 times 50 cubed. There we go, that's better. Plus 0.28 times 50 squared plus 55.6 times 50. And I get 3405. And so I'm going to put that here, 3405. Right? Where's our next bar? Our next bar is at 100. Okay? So guess what I'm going to put? Negative 0.0006 times 100 cubed plus 0.28 times 100 squared plus 55.6 times 100. And I get 7760. So I'm going to put 7760. And that's the height of each of these bars. So this right here is 7760. Okay, that's the height of each bar. Okay, so I'm going to do the third one kind of off camera here. So the third one, right, I'm going to be putting what next? 150. So put 150 here, here, and here. So negative 0.0006 times 150 plus 0.28 times 150 cubed. Come on. Gotta cube it. As if you don't cube it, everything goes wrong, right? So 150 cubed plus 0.28 times 150 squared plus 55.6 times 150, and I get 12,615. 12,615. And again, if I go to 150, that looks about right. It's just a hair over 12,000. Okay. Now 200, so 200 will go here. All right, so negative 0.0006 times 200 cubed plus 0.28 times 200 squared plus 55.6 times 200. And I get 17,520. 17,520. And if I go to 200, it's just shy of 18,000. Again, that matches my picture. These are the Y values, the height of these bars. Okay, so what next? Then we do 250. So here's 250, right? Here's 250. So we're going to plug 250 in here, here, and here. So let's type that in. So negative 0.0006 times 250 cubed plus 0.28 times 250 squared plus 55.6 times 250. I get 22,025. 22,025. Okay? And then, of course, times delta x. Well, we know delta x is 50. So this will be times 50. So we're going to add all those up, then multiply by 50. So I take these numbers, 3405 plus 7760 plus 12,615 plus 17,520 plus 22,025. Add all those up, and I get 63,325, and we're going to multiply that by 50, by delta x, so times 50. And we get a pretty large number. That number is 3,166,250. So 3,166,250. That is our estimate of our total profit with 300 members enrolled. Now look at your graph. What do you notice? The bars are all below the curve. There's these gaps here. Okay? That tells me this is an underestimate. This is an underestimate. Okay? An underestimate. So they're actually making a little more profit than that. Okay? So now what we want to do is we want to redo this same graph, but with a right-hand sum. With a right-hand sum. So what I want to do is I'm going to kind of reproduce their picture here. So something like that. Right? And this will be 0, and we'll do 50 and 100. Actually, we'll do 100 and 200 and 300. Something like that, right? And so that's going to be boom, boom, boom. And I always like to draw these. I think drawing them helps a lot. And what do we expect here? We expect, by looking at my drawing, an overestimate. Okay, now, notice what numbers did we plug in. Let me take a different colored pen and go back through this problem. So look at your picture. We used the left-handed sides of the bar. So we went 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay, so f of 0, f of 50, f of 100, right? F of 150, right? Etc., etc. Well, now we're going to use the right hand side. So this first bar will be f of 50. Second bar will be f of 100, right? 150, 150, 200, 250, and our last bar will be 300. Why? Because we're using the right hand side of each bar. So we omit 0 and include 300, whereas up above we omitted 300 and included 0 because it was a left right-hand sum. And again, we're going to set this up, right? What's it going to be? It's going to be F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 plus F5 plus F6 all times delta x. Okay, all times delta x. So what is our first function value? What is our second function value? What is our third function value, right? So we're going to plug these in. So this will be x equals 50. Okay, and where do we plug that into? We plug that into the original equation. Let me scroll back up here, right? So this will be up here at the top. Okay, so let's 0.0006 x cubed plus 0.28 x squared plus 55.6 x. Okay, and let's start with 50. Okay, and let's do a little typing here, right? My calculator will work for me. Okay, so we got our calculator going here, and so if we plug in x equals 50, I'm going to get 3405. So this will be 3405 plus, this will be x equals 100, and that'll be 7760. Okay, it'll be 7760, right? And so again, I'm plugging into this equation here. Okay, so that'll be 7760. Our third value will be x equals 150. Okay, so I'm plugging in x equals 150 to that equation. I get 12,615. And by the way, I'm going to pause for a second. 7760, 12,615. 7760, 12,615. 3405. Do you notice those are the same values? Right? F of 50 didn't change. So I can kind of cheat. So this will be x equals 200. We'll already have that value from up above, right? It's going to be 17,520, right? And then this will be x equals 250, and I should have that up above. It should be 22,025, 22,025, right? And then this last one will be x equals 300. And I do have to type that one in, and that'll be 25,680. 25,680. And that'll all be times delta x, which in our case is 50. Okay? So let's add all these up, right? So we get 3405 plus 7760 plus 12,615 plus 17,520 plus 22 and 25 and then 25,680. So that adds up, all of that adds up to 89,005. 89,005 times 50. So times 50. And this comes up to be 450,250. And this is an overestimate. And we know that because if you go back to my crude sketch, you've got all these pieces above the function. Those pieces are all above the function. So this would be an overestimate. Okay? So that's a right-hand Riemann sum and a left-hand Riemann sum of the same problem. And basically, you're going to find the heights and either multiply each of those by the width as you go, or add them all up and then multiply the entire thing by the width. Okay, either one's fine. This is the way I prefer to do it. If you read your book, they're going to take that number times 50, that number times 50, that number times 50, and add them all up. I like to add those up and then multiply by 50. Okay, it is the same result. So that's how we do a left hand and a right hand Riemann sum with 6 intervals.